Okay, news that's coming in right now. The Supreme Court permits ED Director's continuation. Supreme Court permits ED Director to continue on in office till September 15. The Supreme Court has said inclined to permit SK Mishra, Enforcement Directorate, in fact, officer, to continue on as ED Director. Munish Pandey is joining us live at the moment on this. The centre, of course, moved an urgent application, Munish, yesterday before the Apex Court to allow for SK Mishra to continue on as ED Director till October 15. Now granted permission to, in fact, continue on in office till September 15. How will this be looked at by the Enforcement Directorate and the centre?
Well, as far as the centre is concerned, remember there was an application filed by the government before the Supreme Court saying that the July 31st time limit which was given to the Enforcement Directorate or the committee to find out a new ED Director, that is very close. And because of several other reasons, the ground which were given by the government at this point of time before the Supreme Court was that there is a FATF review which is still pending. Sanjay Mishra as a ED Director is leading that FATF review. Apart from that, the country's credit rating is also being monitored by Sanjay Mishra. There are several money laundering cases at crucial stage, so they need time for smooth transitioning. That was a ground made by the government. As far as the opposition is concerned, and in this case Abhishek Manu Singhi and Kapil Sibal, they made the argument that there is no other person eligible to become ED Director or what, and that is why the government is not letting him go. The court also made several serious observations on the application made by the government, but finally, the Supreme Court agreed and they have accepted the application of the government, and at this point of time, we can say that it's a big relief not only for Enforcement Directorate but also for the government, because till September 15, Sanjay Mishra will be continuing as a ED Director. The court has also said that after September 15, he should not be given any extension, and between that period, not only the government and the committee, the high power committee, has to find a new ED Director, but also there has to be smooth transitioning of power between Sanjay Mishra and the next ED Director, which the committee decides.
Okay, so that is a big relief, as you're saying, for the Enforcement Directorate and the centre. In terms of the FATF review, which was cited by the centre in its urgent application moved before the Supreme Court, does this, of course, help that fact? Because now that Sanjay Mishra has been granted extension in office till September 15, Munish?
Well, Paulmi, remember even when the matter of Sanjay Mishra was being heard in past in the Supreme Court, and lawyers like Kapil Sibal and Abhishek Manu Singhi were opposing the extension given to Sanjay Mishra. At that point of time also there was an argument made by the government that FATF review is very important for the country, it is important for the economy of the country, and that is why Sanjay Mishra should remain as an ED Director. Now the fresh argument which was made today by the government was again that FATF review is still, being monitored by Sanjay Mishra. So he is a very crucial position. FATF review is at a critical stage, and also there are several other money laundering cases which are at a critical stage. So all these grounds were accepted by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court also said that under ordinary circumstances they would have not entertained this application, but in larger public interest they have accepted the request, and that is why this extension should be granted.
Okay, Munish, stay on with us. Anisha Mathur, my colleague, is also joining us live at the moment. Anisha, of course, was listening in on those proceedings in the Supreme Court. Anisha, what can you tell us about what happened in court a little earlier today?
Well, just a minute ago, the Supreme Court has allowed extension to the ED Director SK Mishra after the central government, through the Solicitor General and the Additional Solicitor General, pointed out that the ED Director SK Mishra's position and his availability during the FATF review was necessary for India's reputation at the international stage, as well as India's credit rating. What is also very important to note is that the central government in its arguments has raised the concerns that there are two neighbors of the country which are trying to negatively impact India's credit rating. In fact, the Solicitor General very clearly saying that there... Oh, I beg your pardon? that there is a big neighbor and a not so big neighbor of ours who are trying their best to ensure that India's credit rating and India's reputation, financially and otherwise, don't remain so good. What is interesting, however, is when the issue was raised again by the petitioners, that the petitioners said that FATF will not chuck India off the good list just because of the ED director. The Solicitor General then went back on that argument and said, I am not saying that India is going to be thrown off the good list of the FATF or that we will be put on the grey list. All I am saying is that continuity is necessary so that all questions can be answered, so that all issues can be dealt with, especially since the FATF team is expected to arrive in India on the 3rd of November. Now, what the centre is saying is that before 3rd of November, the exchange of information, the question answers, the exchange of documents, etc. has to happen, and for that they are adamant that SK Mishra should continue as the ED director because he is the only senior officer who has been in that position for the last 5 years and knows the ins and outs of all the issues. The centre was also asked specifically by and if you can just give me 10 more seconds to just complete this statement. The Supreme Court specifically asked, are you giving the impression that no other official is competent, that no, we do not have any other competent officials, and wouldn't this demoralize other officials? The government, however, saying that this is not the case. We are not raising aspersions on any other official, but we are saying that for the sake of continuity, for the sake of India's reputation in the international stage, the ED director must be allowed to continue. And now he has been allowed to continue till the 15th of September.